Tell us about how you got started. What was the problem you were solving? What didn't work? What can we learn from that? Welcome to Guest Space. We are here to talk about community, one of the very buzzy topics, particularly in running and trail running. And I have Francisco with me, calling in all the way from Portugal today. Francisco, welcome. And I'll let you introduce yourself and kind of tell everyone about your background and why I think you're so great to chat about this.
Matt, let me say that. Well, first of all, thank you so much for the invite. It's such an honor to be here with you. This is our second time that we speak, and I've been following you on LinkedIn already for a while. And when we started to talk on LinkedIn, I said we need to catch up a little bit more. And after the conversation, here we are. So thank you so much for your invite. I'm really looking forward for this conversation. So about me, just like you said, from Portugal, my hometown is Coimbra, which is exactly where I'm living right now. It's a beautiful mid-sized city, very well known for the university, for the students, and a little bit about my background. So it's funny because I studied tourism. I have never worked in the tourism industry. Then the journey that led to my passion about community and customer experience started, I think, 10 years ago when I was working with events, with some conferences, and I've been always passionate about everything related to sports, fitness, wellness. And then I went from sport to events and then to conferences and to put all together because I really like to connect. 1 or 2 years ago, I started to call myself Francis the Dot Connector. Don't ask me why, but I really, it sounded good or cool because I like to connect ideas. I like to connect with people. I like to connect projects in step by step. And then with the experience with the events and conferences, and with this dot connector skill, I started to organize events here in my hometown, more related to startups, entrepreneurship. Then I created my first community, Travel Tech. Then my second community was about trail running and personal development. And I started to learn more and more and more. And here I am, super obsessed about this customer experience, brand experience, customer community building and management. And this is in a very fast way, my journey.
And you've most recently been working with the athletes and the community at Normal, Killian in particular, for the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it's funny because with one of with the newsletter that I've been writing, Redefine the Game. 3 years ago, I was trying to create this case study about community-driven brands, and I found out about Normal, which was a brand created by one of my idols, Killian. I was like, okay, so this sounds good. Yeah. And I found out that they had this Telegram group. This was August. And I said I really want to join their Telegram group just to feel the vibe. And this was some months later after Killian won his last UTMB and first as Normal athlete. Okay. I just joined the group. And again, because I love to connect dots, I started by myself to ask questions, organize events for everyone, like this monthly meetings on Google Meet, and people started to engage more, interact more with some polls. And 1 or 2 weeks later, I got this message on LinkedIn saying, "Oh, we are looking for a community manager. Do you want to apply for this job?" And I said, "Obviously, let's go." And after 2 conversations, I went from community member to community manager of the brand.
Great.
It's been a crazy, inspiring, life-changing, passionate journey so far. And yeah, since January, that's besides community manager, I've been also managing the brand ambassadors program.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. So was that your first, aside from just being a participant in the sport, was that really your first foray into, over from travel and hospitality into trail running at the brand side?
I would say yes, more or less, because with when I was working or when I was organizing events and conferences, we organize like the company, we organize some sports events and also sports conferences.
Yeah.
But normal was my first in terms of brands, working directly and 100% full time for a brand. Yes, it was my first experience, not only on the community side, but also on the brand advocate side, and even more with the athletes, social media management, brand side.
Yeah. And I think Normal's a good one because they're are pretty well defined as far as their values as a brand, much of which, of course, is driven by Killian, which is very recognizable. So from a community standpoint, I think that probably gave you a lot to work with. What were some of the things as you came into the trail running world from that community side, and at such a time of growth that maybe really stood out to you about the trail running community? How would you describe building a community within trail running?
I love that question. I think you have two sides of the coin. The bad side, it's not the hardest on this one, is that when you think about trail running community, the community is so scattered that my question is it possible to build a trail running community? Because it's so grassroots, it's so local driven, or it's so race driven, and as trail runners, when you think about trail running, yes, you have some local trail running clubs, but there again, they are local. Or if you don't have a local trail running community, what happens sometimes is that you just go out to the trails and run by yourself.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult and a really hard mission to create this global trail running community, because again, we can is it really needed or important to have this official trail running community? Maybe not. But one of the things that I really like when we think about Normal is that, number one, it's a brand that was created by Killian. Number two, just like you said, it's not that 100% performance driven. You have some other values like this durability, sustainability, or try to do this no normal things. So my starting line was, okay, so how can we quote unquote use the brand as a platform to make Normal more than just a brand, to make this like a lifestyle, a mindset? Okay, so this is a good starting point. And then most of the members that we have on the community right now, I can tell you that we have a Telegram community, more than 4,000 members digitally, and then every month we have many in-person events. In the end, again, the starting line is exactly the same. Not the starting line, but one of the main pillars is exactly the same. We don't want the people to join the community only because of the products, that they are durable. The products are a reflection or a representation of what the brand stands for. So that's again, it's not an easy job, because in the end, trail runners, they need shoes to run. But if you can go beyond the products, if you can go beyond the shoes, which is exactly our job as while building a community, to go beyond the products. That's hard, but at the same time, an amazing job. And that's why I feel so privileged and honored to be the community manager for this brand, because I love what I do and I love the mission.
Yeah. Yeah. How have you seen it grow even just in the past few years? I mean, the sport has really taken off. What did building a community look like a few years ago compared to now?
It's not easy because again, I would say that. Oh, thank you so much for this question. I missed this. Um, I believe that it's still a hard job to build a community, and it's still a hard
Yeah.
job to be a community manager.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Because I think that even though community right now is a buzzword,
Yeah.
in order to stick in the correct way of building community, correct sustainable way of building a community, I wish or I believe that we need some change of business mindset.
Okay. Okay.
I still feel that CEOs, brand leaders look at community as only a marketing tool,
Yeah.
as like kind of like this right arm of social media.
Okay.
And I believe that business leaders, or at least uh, not only related to trail running, but overall,
Yeah.
business leaders need to look at community as like the glue of the business. I like metaphor, so I really like this metaphor because again, uh, you may know this that when we think about community or comparing community to social media, on social media you have this one to many approach. When you
Yeah.
think about community, you have this many to many approach.
Yeah.
So many times what happens is that when you think about community, actually you are talking about an audience, which is what you have on social media. It's an
Yeah.
audience. It's like you are on stage, you speak with someone.
Right.
But with community, you have this many to many. And when we think many to many, it's not only the brand to the customers or the community members. It's
Yeah.
community starts from inside, community starts from the brand. And actually, you can solve a lot of, not only solve problems, but you can actually um, help, or a community can actually help many to achieve many business goals
Yeah.
beyond just social media.
Yeah. Yeah. We see a lot of brands that have been really successful because they've started with community, right? And it's just been really embedded in their DNA as a brand.
No, for sure.
And who do you look at? I'm kind of skipping ahead, I think, a little bit in the flow of questions I have, but I think it makes sense. Who are you looking at elsewhere in the industry that you think has done community really, really well lately?
But trail running related or
Yeah,
overall?
anything overall. Yeah,
Overall, okay.
yeah,
So if we start with sports
yeah,
brands, obviously one of the brands that comes up, it's Patagonia. Like I would say that sports wise, outdoors adventure wise, Patagonia is one of the best examples because again, you have their local ambassadors, and when you think about the ambassadors, you think more beyond the performance. They are more like activists for
yeah.
what the brand stands for.
Right.
So Patagonia is a super cool example, super inspiring example. Then you have more related to road running. Right now you have Bandits that I really like what they are doing because they are kind of like this Gymshark of road running. And why I'm saying this, because Gymshark, they started to see to grow or to get even more brand awareness when they invested lots
Yeah.
of money on participating on an event. They
Yeah.
invited some influencers to be part of this event, and that was just by itself an invite for
Yeah.
potential customers to come. And Bandit Running is doing exactly the same, which is they are
Yeah.
investing a lot on events, local events. They are investing a lot on humanizing the brand. High fives, I love that. And obviously we can question this, but I think that they have one of the best membership programs we see on these
Okay.
sports brands, where you can actually you invest some money, but the amount of perks that you get is interesting, and it's like this 360 approach when, again, you go beyond products. Because why I'm saying this, because if you are a runner and if you have this membership from Bandit, you get perks related to recovery and nutrition and training plan, and so I like this. Now I was thinking about like a trail running brand, or a brand that is known for being like focused on trail running. We don't have. Yeah. What do you think? Is there any brand that you like that it's within this trail running community? Is there any brand that you know that you like about, and you think that they are doing a good job in terms of building community?
So what I've seen work really well is when it starts with the brand or its athlete team. I really look back to what Solomon, I think, did years ago, and maybe Terex has done a little bit pretty well more recently with their athlete team, really always being together, always traveling to races together, whether they're racing or not, and really kind of setting the tone for that community, and then creating content around their relationships and their lives as they travel to, travel to races together, say, and all of the community that creates internally within the brand or their team, as sort of an example or a starter for the larger community to kind of identify with. I think that's been a good way that I've seen it done in the past, and I think I could be done more down that road.
Yes, I agree. I remember listening to a podcast where someone said that they miss the work, especially in terms of storytelling and content, with the Salomon TV. Yeah. Obviously, we can talk about the things that we are trying to do with Normal, because again, even though we have like a good starting point, there is still so much to do. And what I see that to use community as a proper strategy, it takes time. And that's a little bit contrary to what business leaders want. Like you want fast OKRs.
Yeah, and it's not like a quarterly goal, right? It's not a quarterly goal where you're going to check off community, right?
And if you think that you're going to create money through community, yes, you will, but not directly. So it's more like this long term. You need to lose, So, and what I miss and what I see is that community in some brands, community is like this up and down. You disappear, like this 2D approach. You disappear. What I mean by this, which is, we have this community, hype. After the event, low, you disappear. That's not good. Right.
I hear about that often. I hear about that often around big races, like in the States here, right? Like the Boston Marathon and the New York Marathon, that brands will show up. They want to, activate with, say, a local run crew or some really endemic part of the community. And then like poof, they're gone and they don't hear from them the rest of the year, and how that's just not a way to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Like there's this saying like among the community managers that normally people come for the content, they stay for the community. Yeah. And if they come for the content and they stay for the community, you need to give them reasons to come, even though you have this Pareto law of like this 80-20. You will have 20% active users if you are lucky, and all the others are just lurkers. But again, you need to take care of them every single day. They need to feel that they are seen. They need to participate. Invite them. Open doors. Like I can give you this example, which is one of the ones that I feel most proud of, which is we are going to talk about the product, but it is what it is. This co-creation moment we had with the community about going from Tomir 01 to
Okay.
Tomir 02, which is a shoe like, well, not a total new shoe, which
Yeah.
it's an update from Tomir 01. And Tomir 02 resulted from the feedback that we got from the community. So it's actually something that we listened to the community.
Mm-hmm.
The product team worked at the office. And while in with all the new update, well, not all, but most of the, or with some updates, with some of the feedback that we got from the community, here's Tomir 02. One other, DB douchebag, this bag
Oh no,
like
I don't.
adventure. You should see what they are doing. It's
I'll check
also
it
a good
out.
example of, it's capital DB.
Okay.
I think that the DB comes from douchebag, but which was their
Wait,
first
it's
name,
called.
but not.
Is it called? It's called douchebag, or am
Well, I
I
think
just
that it
mishearing you?
started. Yeah. It started
What a
like, I
name.
think it started DB. Now it's DB because it started like douchebag, because they sell bags, and they are
Okay.
very well known because
I
Marcelo,
have to check this out.
the Brazilian
Okay.
player.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
one
Yeah.
of their ambassadors.
Okay.
And I know that they invest a lot on this co-creation moment.
Yeah.
For example, last year, actually was in Portugal, they invited some of their customers, community members maybe, for
Yeah.
this co-creation session,
Yeah.
co-creation workshop. That's
Okay.
amazing. That's amazing.
Love that.
So, yeah.
I'll have to check them out. That's a
You
wildly
should.
interesting one. Yeah.
Yeah. DB douchebag. They are from Finland or Sweden.
Okay.
One of these. Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, like, as related to product, right? Like, that can make a huge difference. But also, like, on the branding side, we talk all about like connecting to culture and world building and all of these things, right? Like, from a branding and marketing standpoint, and all of that really starts with community, right? And being connected to people in the real world, and the value that community brings from a brand standpoint is massive. And really your brand defines, or your community defines your brand, and not the other way around, right?
Well, I love that 2-0 for you. Actually, it's funny because it reminds me of, I'm right now reading a book from
Yeah.
The title is Zag,
Okay.
with this principle of when other brands zig, you
Zig to
zag.
zag. I love that. I use that all the time.
And actually, there's one page. It's a super good book. I really if you don't know the book, it's from Marty Newmeyer.
Okay.
It's a super small book, easy to read.
Okay.
And there's one page saying something like, "Your brand is not what you think you
Yes.
are; it's what the customers think you are."
Yeah, that's what they say about you, right?
Exactly. And you know what? Even though this is a book from 2000 and something, and I'm pretty sure that many CEOs and many brand managers read this book already, you don't feel it. You don't feel
Yeah.
it. Still, I believe that many CEOs, many brand leaders, many marketeers have this thing, which is a short word but still strong, called ego, that you always think that you are the one that decide. You are the one that think, oh, we should do this because the customers will like. No,
Sure.
I'm sorry. No, it's not the way it works.
Yeah.
Because again, like, well, you can do, but the probability that that's going to become a fail, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. And again, I know that we need to sell shoes. But if you don't listen to customers, and again, you don't need, like, if you work on a brand, if you know the market, you know that this is like a rule of thumb.
Yeah.
You need to listen to customers. You need to invite them. You need to like it's not. Yes, it's hard to build a community. It's harder to maintain the community to make it like sustainable. It's hard, but
Yeah.
at least, my friends, let's do the minimum.
Yeah.
Let's do the minimum. It's listen to your customers. That's the minimum. That's the minimum. That's the minimum.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's not only, and then you see that the first step that brands take is, oh, let's create this Discord server or the WhatsApp group or the
Yeah.
Telegram group. But what then?
Yeah.
What then?
Yeah.
What's the strategy?
Yeah.
Why are you creating a community? Because sometimes there's this question. Maybe
Yeah.
you don't even need a community, but at least
Yeah.
make the customers feel seen. Listen to them.
There's a bit of a sort of nuanced shift, I think, in when you described an audience earlier, right? You're sort of on stage and it's maybe a one-way communication channel at the audience. And a lot of the older branding, guidelines or school of thought would have said, to tell your audience, tell the world, tell the consumer about your brand. And that, sort of fits with this audience, like one-way street, but it's kind of evolved into being like community, right? Which is sort of a two-way street. Now the communication is going not only both ways, but also amongst the community, and like the brand is staying out of it. And the role of the brand is almost to just enable the community to talk amongst themselves more, to enable them to express themselves more without the brand, telling them how to be. Is that, I think there's kind of a nuanced switch that has happened there.
No, for sure. Actually, Matt, you just said one of the best, let's call it OKRs, that makes you feel as a community manager, and also for the business that the community is working well, which is you obviously you need a community manager, but then your role is to let the community be led by the members, because again, for example, one of the I still remember that to all the members that joined the Telegram group, we always said like, hey, welcome A, B, C, D, da, da, da. And then we started to see members doing it for you. That's number one. Number two, when you think about community and customer support, there's two ways of doing it. One, based on the questions that you get, if there are if you see like 50 times one question being asked, that question must go to the frequently asked questions. You know it. That's number one. Number two, the customers or the community members that are there, they know the answer. They can do it for you. You don't need to be there 24/7. And if the community members do it for you, that's also a good sign. So again, when you think about going back to like 10 minutes ago, when we talk about this two-way versus one-way, or audience versus community, it's so beyond products, it's so beyond social media,
right,
that normally you only think about, and honestly, you could help me find the answer to this, but what I feel is that still today, marketeers, brand leaders, CEOs prefer to put money on ads and social media, and on this more is better approach for people to know about the brand. And there's this lack of investment on the ones that you already have. Because it's again, because I believe that it's easier, maybe not literally, but easier comparing to the strategies or the practices that you can have building a community. It's easier for you to have this Instagram story or where your goal is capture leads, because it helps with your OKRs. But then
it's quantifiable, right?
What's next? What's next? Like what do you do? What are you going to do with these leads that you have? Are you going to sell or to send these newsletters to give information about products? What else? How do you take care of the ones that you already have on your CRM, on your database?
What's What are your thoughts on run crews and run clubs and
Love
brand
it.
led ones, right? Well, brand led ones versus just an endemic local ones that kind of arise out of the community. Can a brand start a run club or a run crew, and is that effective, or is that just kind of inauthentic and defeating the purpose? What are your thoughts there?
Was it you that wrote yesterday, Israel running the new skateboarding?
No, I
I
did.
saw on
I've
Substack.
written about that in the past, but
Yeah.
I didn't do the newer
Or
one.
is it running the new skateboarding?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
There's a lot of parallels there for
well,
sure.
yeah, there's a lot of parallels.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know the answer,
Okay.
but my personal feeling is that being a runner,
Yeah.
more trail runner than road runner,
Yeah.
I like it because I like
Okay.
community,
Yeah.
and I love to see people just spending time to gather this amazing
Yeah. In
group of
any
people
way.
that in
Yeah.
any way. I love it.
I
I
like
love
that.
it.
I like that.
Then to connect this to like brand led
Yeah.
running groups,
Yeah.
uh, I feel that running clubs that are brand led. It's obviously a good strategy because again it brings consistency. It's a
Yeah.
good source of getting feedback. It's a good source of
Yeah.
connecting and
Yeah.
getting to know better your customer,
Yeah.
and just to feed this loop that it's super
Sure.
important for the brand. But then you have those running clubs, running crews where they are being super successful. They are led by the Franciscos and Matts of life. And then the brand reaches out to see, hey, like, do you want this
That's right.
partnership?
That's right.
Mainly for commercial reasons,
Yeah.
because obviously it's a way for them to get brand awareness.
Hmm.
But still, it's fine. It's fine. I like it. Again, it depends. Uh, just like I said, they come for the content, they stay for the community. The
Yeah.
brand can start the connection, the like this partnership, because again, it's a marketing strategy. But then
Yeah.
it depends on the next steps. But honestly, going straight to the point, I like
Yeah.
it.
Do you think the feedback loop is different if you're a brand with your own run crew versus partnering with an existing, like, more community based run crew?
I think
Is the
so.
feedback you get coming from a different place? Should it be taken differently in those different situations?
Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
It depends. Again, it depends on how you as a brand, how
Yeah.
position yourself within that running club or
Okay.
running crew.
Okay. Okay.
Because again, if it's something that it's led by the brand, it's we are talking about an environment that you control.
That's right. That's right.
Whereas if it's a local running club, maybe
Yeah.
it might sound weird if you go there and say, oh, maybe of course you can. Oh, what do you think about the shoes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I can give you this example of one of the rules that we share with the normal advocates, the brand ambassadors.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of their goals right now is to interact as much as possible with the local communities. And one of the guidelines that they have is, again, just like I told you in the beginning, is um, you can talk about the shoes, but you
Yeah.
don't need to talk about the shoes.
Great.
Gather the people,
Yeah.
talk about the brands, thank them for spending time,
Yeah.
go out,
Make it
run,
about them.
have
Yeah.
fun, and then at the end, if they want
Yeah.
to talk about the shoes, if they want to know more about the shoes, that's
Yeah.
okay. That's a good sign. If not,
Yeah.
it's also good. Next month we will be back. That's one of the
Yeah. That's
things
right.
that we are trying to do with our community runs.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. Make it about them, right? Like we were
Exactly.
talking about before, instead of just telling them about you.
But isn't everything about them? Like
Yeah.
when
That's right.
don't you build a brand because of something? Because if you're building a brand just to create funny products,
Yeah.
personally, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But if you make what you're building about them, it might
Yeah.
be easier, because again, it's not about the features, is how can you best serve your community, your customers. So
Yeah.
that's why you might need an update to the shoe, because you got this feedback that this could be improved.
Yeah. Yeah. Shifting a little bit in talking about media, does a community, when it's formed through a media entity versus through a commercial like brand entity, say like what Free Trail is doing, does that create a different community? Is there maybe a different atmosphere then around that community? What is media's role in creating community within the sport?
I would say that media, or this more product led community, I would say that I might be wrong, but what I feel is that the only difference is the way you serve your community members. Sure. That's the only difference. It's the way you serve your members, because again, let's go back to Bandit Running. Again, we are not sponsored by Bandit, but it's, you have the membership, you are part of the community, you get clothes, but you can also get a discount with shoes and nutrition and recovery and
that is a lifestyle there, right?
Exactly. And Free Trail is, or the example of Free Trail or a media company or Borderlands or Single Track is, it's the difference is how you serve the customers. And this way you are like this content led brand or platform, but you can also answer to the goals, aspirations, needs of the customers in a different way. Rafa, the cycling brand. So it's a super good example, because you can question yourself: are they a product led or media storytelling led?
Interesting.
So that's why, because and kind of like happened the same with Salomon TV, right? So, but kind of right. Salomon, like the balance was different. But I agree. Looking at Rafa, they invest a lot on creating these super cinematic storytelling videos. Sure. 1, 2. They invest a lot on this unique, hyped brand experiences. And they are super well known for that. And number 3, they are known for the products. And this makes me think that with the product you can appeal to one audience, with the content you can appeal to a different audience, and with the brand experience you can appeal to a different audience, even though you cannot appeal to everyone. So, answer straight to the point. It's the process is similar. The only difference is the way you serve the community members.
It sort of relates to the idea we see a lot in like branding discourse about how brands are now becoming entertainment companies and media companies, right? In that they are more than just products, but they're providing value to their community in other ways. And the hybrids are starting to become successful. Does that?
Yes. If you look back, so COVID was 3 years ago.
Depending on where you measure it, right? 3-4 years ago.
So 3 years ago, mainly because of COVID, you started to listen more and more about community. Before that, maybe not that much. Community was already a thing, but not this buzzword. But you still had events, right? So these moments where you connected with your customers. COVID came, community, digital, especially. But now, fortunately, COVID is gone. What you see is that maybe the best approach is an hybrid one, where you go digital and also in person. But now, listening to the customers, maybe what we are starting to feel is that maybe digital, maybe it's better to go even more with the in real IRL um,
Yeah.
events or experiences.
Yeah.
And how do you know that? By staying close to your community members.
Yeah.
So
Do you sense like a digital fatigue from the community, that people are just getting kind of worn out from being spoon fed algorithm ads and things, and that is creating more of a need for in real life? I mean, I feel that, but you're in like a different continent and in a different, do you feel that as well?
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay.
Um, like I remember. Well, I have two examples. One from the community, like the community members, but
Yeah.
also from the brand advocates.
Yeah.
And because of that, one of the things that we did two times already this year was, so we have different groups. Well, depending on the country. So the
Yeah.
country, a different country means a different group. So imagine we
Yeah.
have Italy, Spain, France, Germany, the US, and Spain.
Yeah.
This weekend we had Cursa Tomir in Mallorca. All the advocates were there, and it was the first time they met each other. They
Cool.
were sick of WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Sick. The feedback that we got, this was unforgettable. This was
Great.
unforgettable. I still remember
Yeah.
one message I saw this morning. I feel that we know each other since ever.
Yeah.
And the same happened 2 weeks ago in Chianti. All the Italian advocates were there, and
Yeah.
it was amazing to see them not only racing, but
Yeah.
also supporting Kilian and Elozine, but
Yeah.
also just spending some time together.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
people are sick of phone. People are sick
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Discord and
Yeah.
Zoom, and
Yeah.
you are mute, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This, like us chatting, over, video chat across the ocean is, of course, a really cool thing, and it allows us to do this at all. But if we were having this chat in person, I
It
think
would be so.
it would be even better on another level. Right.
For
And
sure.
it's like, that when we talk about remote work and working in the office, like I kind of struggle with that a little bit. Because of course, everyone likes the autonomy of remote work, but there's so much value on being around people, being together, and the conversations and the ideas and the things that spawn from that it's just impossible to do digitally over WhatsApp or video call.
Totally.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. Imagine normally I can tell you that every day I have the chance to speak or to talk with
Yeah.
4,423 people, which
Yeah.
are the number of members that we have on our Telegram group. But
Yeah.
I miss you see the difference. I can
Yeah.
tell you that today, which is
Yeah.
the last day of March, I made real friends
Yeah.
with community members,
That's right.
especially because of the in real life events. It's
That's
different.
right.
You see that, you feel the difference.
You literally feel it, because you come away from it just energized, right?
You feel different. Even you imagine this. You come to Portugal. You
Yeah.
are invited. You come to Portugal, and I see
Yeah.
you on the street.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's Matt. We had this conversation like
Yeah.
2 months ago, and
Yeah.
luckily we have the chance to meet in person and to.
Yeah.
It's different. It's like
It
the
is.
feeling, the feelings, the emotions, the
Yeah.
interaction that you can have, even like
Yeah.
just to exchange the smiles and laugh, and it's different.
Yeah.
It's
It
different.
is. Yeah.
So actually, that's one of the best for me personally. That's one of the best OKRs, which is you really create deep
Yeah.
connection with community members to the
Yeah.
point where I know that one community member
Yeah.
in 2 or 3 weeks or 1 month is going to have a baby.
Yeah.
It's not only about trail running.
Yeah.
It's about connection.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah.
That's right. Tell me your thoughts on like the nuances of community, or the community dynamics between different, regions or countries over in Europe. What does that community in Portugal, Spain, or the Iberian Peninsula look like compared to a community in Germany? Do you see differences there?
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and on this, I confess that ChatGPT is one of my best friends on managing
Interesting.
this.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I can tell you that, for example, managing the brand ambassadors
Yeah.
group,
Yeah.
that's one of the main obstacles that we need to overcome, because like some people don't they are not fluent in English,
Right.
and obviously communication is key,
Right.
and we ask them to do ABC, and the message must be clear. And the way you take care of this
Yeah.
is challenging, but at the same time rewarding. Because, for example, when I talk with an Italian guy or a
Yeah.
girl, I make sure that I talk with them in Italian.
Okay.
Or for example, with French, I don't speak that much French, but I make sure that if I send an email, the email needs to go in French.
Okay.
Because again, communication is key, and with communication comes empathy.
Yeah.
And
right.
if I want to make them feel heard, or if I want to make them feel that I'm on their side, I'm on their team,
Yeah.
I need to speak their language. And this is on the brand ambassadors, on the community. Right now on Telegram, on normal community, we have people coming from more than 50 countries, like Dominican Republic, Brunei, like many countries. And the way, well, we have talked about so many topics, even about wars, or
Sure.
and you need to be careful. You really need to be because again, you being a community manager, it's not that's why I told you that it's more than a marketing strategy. You need to understand humans and human interactions and human communication and human connection. Every day or every week, you can see so many different things. And just like you cannot expect something to happen and just like that, a problem comes up, or some people are more energetic than others, or even men and women. You need to be careful. So it's not only about opening a Discord server and that's it, and you open, they come. That won't happen. That won't happen.
Do different events or different types of community interaction, like activations, work better with different audiences and in different places, or is it sort of just like human universal connection is more or less the same?
I can tell you, and this is very basic. If you want, if you want some of the lurkers to give a sign of life in the community, create a pool. They will answer.
No kidding.
That's simple. Okay. There's this strategy on a book called The Cult of Brands. It's this concept of the commitment curve. So in 4 different levels of commitment, you need to have different actions. You cannot expect a new member to help others.
I like that.
You know, they must be not a senior, but I would say that you need to teach them what are the behaviors you expect from them, what are the expectations as a viewer, but also as someone that can also participate and interact and engage and add value. So I love this commitment curve, where that's why one of the main mistakes building community is this onboarding journey. And the journey doesn't end when the community joins, or when the member joins the community. That's just a mid-level checkpoint.
Yeah.
So again, you cannot expect all the members to say welcome to the other new members, because
Right.
they don't know that's the behavior that you expect them to do.
Mm-hmm.
So again, pools result very in a very, they are efficient.
Mm-hmm.
People like to brag, so
Okay.
like ask them to share photos and videos. I know that people sometimes miss that. Oh, I miss when members used to share photos. And one thing that this reminds me is that don't expect the community to be like you start here and it's going to be always like this. No,
Yeah.
it's like, again, it's a human.
Yeah.
Some days are good, some days are bad, and
Yeah.
that's normal. And normal with one N, and you need to be there just to do your best in the most genuine, authentic way.
I love that commitment curve idea, because if I'm working in brand and I have a campaign, say that we're working on, it gives me a way to tailor that campaign in different ways to people that are along each of those stages within our community, therefore giving more of the whole of the community a sort of a personalized way to interact with the brand or interact with that campaign. And I would think about that as I'm crafting different touch points for that campaign. I think that was a really great point.
It's think about this. Let's again, trail running. Maybe you know this better than me. Like, trail running industry is a jungle.
Yeah.
There's so much noise, but how can you just stand out in the middle of so much noise, of so much brands and designs and
Yeah.
features and social media
Yeah.
posts, where you cannot even control that
Yeah.
environment, when you think that you're going to spend lots of dollars creating this ad, and maybe the ad won't be seen by the ones that you like to
Mm-hmm.
to reach.
Mm-hmm.
So um, and again, number one, there's no one size fits all
Right.
strategy in
That's
what
right.
regard to building community. Yes, community can be a competitive advantage comparing to, because you cannot copy community. The way
Yeah.
me as a customer,
Yeah.
we are different. You and
Yeah.
me, we are different.
Yeah.
The way
Yeah.
the brand can interact with me, it's different than the way my needs are different. My aspirations, my goals.
That's right.
So again, it's really important, and community allows you to do that, because again, it's let me give you this example.
Okay.
There's a big difference between you. Let's talk about Slack as a community platform, even though it's not
Okay.
like you can create a community using Slack, but there's a big difference between you creating 20 channels
Yeah.
just from day one,
Sure.
and creating new channels on the go based on the feedback.
Yeah. Yes.
One of the questions that the Telegram members have asked to implement on Telegram, and I've
Yeah.
promised them that we will do that, is we should create channels for different languages. We
Interesting.
should
Yeah.
create
Yeah.
channels for different topics,
Yeah.
and that caters different public, different people, different
Yeah.
needs, different. So again,
Yeah.
you and me, we are different, and that says all.
Yeah. Where I guess I'm starting to wrap up a little bit, but I'm thinking like ahead. Where do you see all of this going? What's sort of next in the community evolution maybe within trail running, or are there things we can draw from other areas that could evolve like the community interaction within trail running? Because I think it's headed in a really, really great direction. It's in a really good place. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I want that so much to happen,
Yeah.
because again, thinking about sports can really have like sports can really change the world.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
believe that, like sports brands,
Yeah.
outdoor brands, adventure brands,
Yeah.
because it's we when we talk about these types of brands, we are talking about lifestyle
Yeah.
and like something that it's close to heart
Yeah.
for everyone, for like the ones that run, the ones that climb, the ones that do sports, or
Yeah.
so that's we should have that into account. That's number
Yeah.
one. Number two, going a little, so zooming in on trail running.
Yeah.
Yes, trail running can change the world. Free trail is right when Dylan says that trail running can change the world, and I really want trail running, or the trail running brands, product led or media led, to take advantage.
Yeah.
Because yes, maybe trail running is a new skateboarding, and where I see this going is, one, we need to change a little bit the like this relation. The there must be a change on the relationship with, number one, customers,
Okay.
number two, influencers
Yeah.
slash brand ambassadors, because I feel that um like again, looking to trail running, do you think that 99% of the ones that do trail running, the trail runners, do you know the names? Do you believe that they know the names of the people that won the races? They don't.
No. No, they don't.
They
No.
don't. So,
Yeah.
um, and again, you invest so much money on like on on making the athletes, and also using the so-called digital influencers to help you with
Yeah.
brand awareness and sell more shoes. I
Yeah.
don't know. I believe that we need to look more to we need to look more to these influencers or brand ambassadors in a different way. Again,
Yeah.
here the battle between digital and in real life. But again, there must be a change in the way we connect with customers, inviting them to be part of the journey of building a brand.
Okay.
To must be a change on the way we connect and use, air quotes, we use these brand
Mm-hmm.
ambassadors,
Mm-hmm.
and also the way we look at one brand interacting with the rest of the ecosystem. Because what I feel
Yeah.
is that something that we see on road running but we don't see much on trail running is that don't close yourself on the headquarters, where you have uh, evolving, fast growing ecosystem where you
Okay.
can join forces, working together, to bring even more benefits to everything that you are doing, and this will benefit not only customers, but also it will bring benefits to the team, to the brand itself.
Sure. I think I see, with AI becoming a lot more prevalent, I think I see the value of community becoming a lot greater because it contrasts so much with that. It's in real life, like curation of people and values instead of algorithm driven. So I think I see that the value community really greatly increasing, particularly with smaller brands, as we see more creator led brands maybe start to come up in the coming years, because those
Yeah.
are so driven from a community that those creators have curated through their content over the years. I think those are, I guess, maybe a couple directions I see the value of
Just look
community
at
just growing even more.
just look at the examples of, one, Gymshark,
Right.
two,
Right.
one that it's very well known in the US, BPN with
Yeah.
Nick Bear.
Nick Bear. Yeah.
Just look at the job that
That's right.
Marcus, what's his name? Marcus
Million.
Milone.
Yeah. Yeah. In New
Million.
York with Minted. Right.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So creator led,
Yep.
because again, people want to see people, and
Yeah.
I would say that this path of creator led brands will help. But one of the things that I'm trying to do with Redefine the Game is to promote this keep it real strategy, which is in a
Great.
world, just like you said, in a world with we see and we now it's this new way of creating new images. I don't even know how to pronounce the Ghibli, whatever.
It's getting wild. Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting wild. But in a world where yes, I used ChatGPT in some of my tasks to be efficient, to to get more time and to have more time to spend on the most important tasks of being a community manager. But in a world where we see AI growing like so fast, people will start to get tired of it, and they will. I think that they will miss the purpose of a brand, the brands that are genuine, authentic, that make them feel that they can be part of. That's why I really like these hashtag keep it real approach, and that's why I said that in order for the community to work as a strategy, don't look at only as a marketing strategy, because in the end, community as a way you can build your brand, because it's a mindset. It's a business strategy.
Yeah. There's a quote, I think it's from Maya Angelou, who is a American poet and activist that was something to the effect of you'll forget what people said, or you'll forget what people did, but you'll never forget how they made you feel. And that, I think, just like really speaks to the value of community, because that's where that feeling is like really tangible, isn't it? Is there anything else you want to include, or anything else you want to say?
Well, I'm pretty sure that number one, if this was in person, we could spend hours. But
I
even
think so
here,
too.
Digitally, we could spend hours. And obviously, it's this being my first time speaking and talking about community on a podcast. Maybe I was a little bit long on some of the answers, but I'm really passionate about this, like
it shows,
brands and community and customer experience, and we could spend hours. So I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity, and again to show all my appreciation for all the content that you share, the way you do it, and because I look at you as like kind of like this role model, and in the middle of the noise in many platforms, I'm always looking for the posts and the Substacks from Matt. So to show you all my appreciation, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Oh, thank you. I think the discourse within the community, and you're a part of that, particularly on LinkedIn, is really what drives me, and I hope to contribute to. Is LinkedIn probably the best place for people to connect with you? I know you're very active on there.
Yeah, so you can. I'm restarting to create content on this. So it's Francisco Fonseca with this orange circle on LinkedIn. And on Substack is Redefine the Game, which is the newsletter, the name of the newsletter in my project. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, Francisco, thank you so much. I hope to meet you in person in either in the States or in Europe later this year.
Come to Portugal. There are so many beautiful trails that I can show you.
I'm going to take you up on that. I love Portugal. Thank you.